Hello, my friends. Good evening. I hope you're doing well. So, let me turn the music a little bit down. So, my friends, we're back after 2 weeks of break. Actually, not really planned break, but partially planned. So I want to welcome everyone back to the stream for a evening stream about the Flashforge Adventurer 5M Pro, which has been sent to me by Flashforge this week. Just arrived yesterday, so I decided let's have a look at this printer. It's actually fairly compact, so we're going to see it in a moment. So yeah, want to welcome everyone who's joining. So we're going to have a little bit of a chat now, and well, still have to do my microphone setup here. I'm super late. So many things. So come back 14 days after you did live stream the last time and figure out that things aren't working for some reason. Is that actually a surprise? I don't know. I think that's the usual chaos. How's everyone doing? So let me change the title quickly for the blah, blah, blah. Let's do alerts. So let's do that. So, how's everyone doing? I see Zylon is joining, Evo Clark here, Charles Lemansky is here, Spline is here. Getting ready for autumn, that's right. Things are getting colder and colder every single evening. You can feel it already, so it's getting quite chill. Also in Germany. On the weekend, we're expecting it like to be 4 degrees Celsius or something at night. So that could mean that we're getting close to freezing points very soon, very quickly. So yeah, let's see. You were warming up your workshop with the Atom stack the other day. That's the solution. That could work. So let me see if the microphone is working now. The other one, at least, the one that we need to use for walking around here. Is this working? So let's do a quick check on the microphone. Seems to be working. Okay. That's great. So we can move that out. Okay. Hope this is working now. Probably have to adjust the camera height because we want to keep the table low for today, because otherwise it's impossible for me to work with this printer. If the table will be up, wouldn't have a real chance. So let me see whether we can also see it from this. What's happening? Why is this not working? Okay, so might have to change a couple of things here. Man, why is this not working? Okay, so looks better now. So we should be good with the cameras. Let's test out this one. Well, we'll have to fix it. That's good. Okay, so getting ready. Korba. What do you mean by that? Okay, so this is the Flashforge 5M Pro. We're gonna unbox it tonight. Gonna see if we can get it working and printing some stuff. I have a project coming up for this printer because as we do this usually is we do the unboxing live here. We do some kind of test print to see if the printer is actually working, and then I'm going to use it for about 2 weeks. I have a project that in mind that is quite suitable for the Halloween theme. So we're gonna print a giant Lego skeleton that we're gonna put in front of our porch, so in the entrance, and that's gonna be the project for the next 2 weeks. It's gonna be a lot of parts. The size of the thing is, I think it's about 50-60 centimeters, so it's like compiled from, if I'm not wrong, 10 different parts. So the material also has to be something that's outdoor resistant, so we're most likely going to use ASA on this printer, which is the perfect reason to use this printer. It has an enclosure, it can print high temperature material, so let's figure out if this is actually working. Black out the shipping label. Yeah, I mean the shipping label is, this is actually just white. There's nothing on the shipping label here. That's actually empty. There's a couple more shipping labels here, interesting enough. So it has been shipped around quite a few times, but we can also just strike out, on the other hand, this one here, which is also left over. Good point. So at least I see at least 3 different shipping labels on this box. So how big is this thing? It's fairly compact, I would say. From the packaging size, I would say this is very comparable to something I've seen for the Bambolab printers. It's also, from a weight point of view, how much is that? 19 kilogram. So I would say this is fairly comparable. Probably not super heavy, but reasonably heavy. So let's get this open. Let's figure out. I've also added some new alerts for you guys. Just gonna bring it up. If my mouse will work, then I can also show it to you. What's happening here? Why is my cursor not moving? Here we go. Okay, we're gonna also do this on Twitch only. So let me see if this is working for you. Okay, so I need code. So is this working now? Stream is working. See, the quality seems to be fine. Multi-streaming to YouTube and Twitch. Hopefully everything else is good. Okay, so that seems to be working. I'm gonna test out some of the alerts, depending on what happens. So you can also trigger them. Testing out to use alerts a bit. Oh my God. I started doing all the tool wall here, having all of my tools here on the left side. Now I always have to remind myself that I have to also look at the wall when I'm searching for something, not in the drawers. So let's get this thing open. Studio RMS, thank you for following on Twitch. That's awesome. Always happy to have a new people here joining on Twitch, but also on YouTube. So let's get this baby out. If that's even the correct term for this. I mean, I remember the last bigger 3D printer that we had here on the table, that was the Kidi X Plus 3, which was such a heavyweight printer. It was insanely heavy. This is at least, seems to be not that heavy, which I appreciate, because it's, at some point it gets really, really hard to get these printers even out of the box and onto the table. So let's try if we can do this without dropping the printer. Usually what you can do is either tilt it over, or you can use the packaging so you see it's not that super crazy heavy. It's doable. But maybe also because I'm back into weightlifting, so just a little bit I can do that. Maybe not the most ideal way how to get it out of the box, but at least it works. So 19 kilogram, yeah, that's fairly, it's heavy, but it's doable. I ordered the K2 Plus. What is your filament brand of choice? Especially for the CFS. Carbon fibers. Well, I have all kinds of filament brands here. I would say the most used filament for the moment, I'd say, is probably the ABSX from Nobofil, which is an Austrian filament brand. So I'm using that a lot for prints that require some stability, some rigidity, and also for, let's say, not permanent outdoor usage, but some outdoor usage. Then I'm using ASA. For the moment, I have been printing quite a few parts here for my caravan window hook project, which I did almost finish before we had to return the caravan to the garage. But these kind of hooks here, I printed in different materials. So I'm using like ASA and nylon materials recently quite a lot to test out these kind of different mounting hooks. So that's what I'm using. I'm not using that much the carbon fiber reinforced materials, but I recently got a few more carbon fiber materials in, just to test out some other parts, also for stability of hooks and mounts. The problem with the carbon fiber materials, if it's not ASA, it's not ready for outdoor usage. And I'm currently looking a lot into printing outdoor capable materials, or prints that are used outdoors in the garden, for growing plants, and anything that has to do with outdoor usage. That's what I'm currently testing a lot, because previously I wasn't printing anything that can be used outside so much, but I started doing that, and so I went a lot into figuring out what are the right materials for sun resistance and heat resistance. That's where you need to have printers that also can print higher temperatures. So what do we have here? First of all, quite a lot of packaging foam. Seems to be all kind of well protected here. Inside of the printer there seems to be a huge block of foam that we somehow need to get out. I'm not sure how we're gonna do this. I'm gonna look in the manual a couple of seconds. Then we have, finally we wanna get rid of this plastic bag here. And let's take a first look. Let's take a first look at the printer now. So, Let's look at the front. This is the printer. Yeah, from a form factor, I'd say very much identical to the K1C maybe, and also the Bambu Lab printers. Very compact. Has a nice top lid. Also quite unique, I'd say. So let's get rid of the front covers here. I see the question was not about material, but it was about this multi-material thingy. The K2 Plus, I think Creality contacted me recently whether we want to test out this printer. Maybe that's going to happen quite soon. I have to get back to them because they have, the marketing team at Creality was kind of changed recently. And they went basically dark for a couple of weeks. So that's why maybe we're gonna figure out if we can get the K2 Plus for testing in the near future. But again, like filament brands, I'm using Nobofil, I'm using some Creality materials, I'm using Prusa materials. Then 3D Jake is, if I'm looking for cheap material, so affordable material, I'm using 3D Jake, Eco PLA quite a lot recently because 3D Jake is a sponsor of the channel. And by the way, I not want to forget that this video is of course sponsored by Flashforge, in the way that Flashforge send us this printer and we will work with them on a review, of course. But again, it's going to be an unbiased review. I'm going to tell you what I find, the good, the bad, the ugly things. And we'll see how this goes for the next 2 weeks with this printer. So let's have a look how we can get this thing working, because for now I'm really curious how we can get all of this packaging stuff out of the printer. It's quite a lot, right? So it's really stuffed to the top with these huge foam pieces here. So let's see if we have to do anything in terms of, maybe we have to run the printer and have it moving the printhead away from this foam. It looks at least a little bit like that. So let's take a look in the manual how this has to be done. K2 will be your Christmas present. Nice, nice. I'm wondering, like, why is everyone going for multi-material at the moment? It is, it makes sense from my point of view to do this for like swapping out material that is running out. Personally, I'm not that much of a multicolor printer user. I'm more using the AMS mostly to print still single color materials or having multiple spools of the same color if I know that I have to print something that's larger. But let's see, like, how do they tell us to get the packaging foam out? Remove the filament, power cable and accessory box from the chamber protective foam. Remove the inner protective foam from the extruder. So it's supposed to be removed to the top. So let's try to get the stuff out. Power cable, filament spool. Is there anything else? Seems not to be the case. So I hope I can pull this out without destroying anything. We can push the extruder a bit to the back. We can try to get this out. See. Okay. Well, that wasn't too complicated. One huge block of foam. It's almost done. I have another one here. That's it already, if I'm not wrong. There might be some additional screws that we have to release to get the print bed moving. That's as usual. So we have these yellow arrows, very similar to the ones when you're using the Bamboo Lab printer for the first time. There is these yellow indicators here inside that tell us there is a screw, and two more on this side and also here one on that side that we have to release. You have been looking at the new Ratrick 4 IDEX if you win the lottery, yeah. Prusa XL maybe? Anyone? So, okay, so we've taken the foamy out, top cover extra. Do we have to do something here? We are installing the spool holder, which, yeah, we can do that, of course. We're unlocking the build plate. Okay, let's do that. Let's unlock the build plate. Let's get a hex driver, 2.0 millimeter Allen key, or this kind of hex driver. So let's do that. Gonna release the build plate here. There is 4 little screws that we have to get out. One. Where is the screw? Here it is. Once we have done all of the unboxing and releasing stuff, we're gonna take a little bit of a close-up look of all the components. Gonna make sure that you can see all of the stuff. I'll probably need a gripper to take the screw out. It's a little bit hidden. Can't reach that with my fingers. Well, let's take it. Where is it? Still kind of figuring out where to put my tools on the tool wall. Since this has been finished recently, I'm still missing a fair amount of mounts for different types of things, like, yeah, clippers, screwdrivers. We still have to print a lot of the stuff. We can also do that with this printer, just for testing out different materials. I've printed a lot of the mounts for my tool wall in ABS. Probably unnecessary, but I have a lot of different nice colors in ABS, so I want to give it a shot using this material with the printer. So we have released the print bed. We can also remove the touch screen cover. And we should mount the filament spool holder at the back of the printer. There's probably somewhere in this box here. So how's it going? If I win the lottery, I'll get a VBot 330 kit AWD. I wish. Oh my goodness. What are you getting, like, for Christmas? What's so many different wishes for Christmas? I think that the best printer is the printer that you use. One of the things that I realized when I got into this hobby is that there's two different kind of people in this hobby. There is people that have the printers as a hobby, right? So there's the printer is the hobby and not 3D printing. And there is the other type of person where I would rather say they have the 3D printer to 3D print. So 3D printing is the hobby. And of course there's I'd say overlaps. But there is this major two, say, types of people out there. And if you have 3D printers as hobby, so mainly interested in tinkering and working on the printer, that can get you in real trouble because you're like gonna end up with so many different 3D printers. That's what happened to me. So you end up having, I don't know, it in my, say, high times, for the lack of better words, I had 15 3D printers, and now I'm trying to reduce every single month by, I don't know, 1 or 2 printers to get down to a reasonable amount of printers that I'm actually using, right? Because my goal is now to actually find a way how to utilize the printers better and not just having them for the sake of tinkering. Rob H, yeah, I remember you told us last time that you wanted to replace the sensors on your K1C. I'm wondering, did you notice any difference, or is it just working back to normal, right? I think I never had an issue with the sensors yet, so like fingers crossed that this is not going to happen anytime soon. But I think that the K1C is one of the next 3D printers that's gonna get removed from the studio, because I have to get down to back to normal. Okay, so I have to reduce number of 3D printers even further. So let's see. We have hopefully done most of the things. I think one of the things left here is to put this PTFE tube into the extruder. Wondering if there's any, there seems not to be a kind of a PTFE collar holding it, so it's just sticking quite well here, but there's nothing that you have to do to remove it, just pull. I hope this is doesn't move. But again, we have, I mean, this is the usual problem that all of these printers seems to be having. Like the Bambu Lab have this problem, the K1C has this problem, and also this printer seems to have this problem. This PTFE tube is slightly touching this acrylic top cover. You can see it once I'm putting it down. You can see that the PTFE is a little bit pushed down. So that means over time this is going to scratch on the surface of this cover, which long term can lead to the PTFE tube like getting thinner, and you have to do some little additional prints to fix that, and probably attaching some kind of washer here that is keeping the PTFE away from the top cover. So we did unlock the build plate, we did mount the spool holder, we did remove all of the plastic. Nothing left as far as I can tell. It's time to turn on the 3D printer. Let's switch it on, let's see if it's working. Before we do that, we're gonna take a closer look at the display. Let's move this camera a little bit further to the printer. So let me see if this works. I also fixed the overheating problem of the other camera that we had recently in the studio. The fix for the problem of the fix for the overheating problem is basically I'm using a different camera now. I'm actually using a camera that I already had in the studio before using the other one, the Sony. This is the Canon. And so the Sony was overheating for no particular reason, but it was, after a while, it wasn't just blacking out. And it's very weird. So we're now using a different camera for this. The good thing is that we have, I think we're gonna have a better view and a better close-up view on the print that we're gonna do. So I've just switched on the printer. I'm not sure if I have to power on the front, I think I have to push this button here. Let's see what the manual says. Switch button, yeah. So we are switching the printer on at the front. Okay. Let me check. So booting up for the first time. Oh yeah, the usual music from Flashforge. Let's see what happens. We have to connect. Oh, this is not very readable, I guess. We have to turn down brightness a bit. This is better. So first thing is, of course, selecting language. We go for English. Printing preparation. Confirm that all packaging materials have taken out. The printer needs to calibrate. Okay, let's go. So let's see if we can show this. Wow, it's moving quite fast. Actually never seen a print bed in a Core XY moving that fast. Yeah, let's see what happens. So the printer will start its calibration procedure. That's probably going to take a couple of minutes. Meanwhile, we can clean up the table a bit. Also prepare the material that I have been sending here. This seems to be kind of... Yeah, this is probably a high-speed PLA. It's an HS PLA, so probably something like a Hyper PLA comparable from Creality. So let me fix this camera position a bit, so I can talk to you better. So I'm gonna get this filament out. Yes, you can get the Sony back out for the Bavarian winter. I think for long-term use, I need to build some kind of ventilator cooling rig for the Sony. The problem is actually, I mean, we can probably do this with 3D printing. So the idea is, well, the problem with the camera is that if you have the lid closed, basically where the screen is, just here at the back, it overheats faster. If we open it up, it runs a little bit longer, but it's also overheating. So I guess what we need to do is we need to put some kind of cooling fan pointing towards this section here, which is the one that gets warm. And I guess that then we might be able to run the camera for a little bit longer. That's actually the only thing that comes to my that I have as an idea, honestly. So we're gonna figure that out. Maybe we can use this. We can print some kind of mount for a little fan with 3D printing that we can also attach here to this little rig. So we have all kinds of, I mean, we have different mounting points here that we could use to fix it. But yeah, I think a 3D printed mount for the fan is something that I want to do. I like this camera more because it's more compact, it's easier to use in the studio, it's not that kind of a bulky thing. So the printer seems to be doing some kind of calibration run. Let's get this a little bit down because we want to see more. Right. Actually, I need to get rid of this box here. It's too much packaging stuff here. So we probably have to go even lower so we can see more of the print when we start it. So let me quickly do that while we are switching to a different view. So let me bring this down. So if I'm doing this with the camera on, it's like you're gonna get sick, obviously. Motion sickness. So let's figure out, can we see this in the close-up? Yes. That's much better. So, switch over. Here we go. I think that's much better. So the printer is currently doing its like vibration compensation procedure, where it's vibrating. Usual thing. Porphyrius, thank you for the 4 months subscription. Thank you a lot. Actually, what I wanted to do, because I thought about it for a while, we are still doing the giveaways. I have to figure out what we do as the next giveaway. I was actually debating with myself, and I was thinking about it because the last giveaway that we have been doing for the end of 3v3 was going to someone. I didn't know where they were coming from. And was that a raid? No, not really, right? That people, if someone's raiding the channel, please let me know if I'm missing it. So the thing is that the person that won the printer in the first place was, like, I wasn't aware where the people where they were coming from, and the thing was that they coming from Brazil means the shipping cost is going to be even more expensive than the 3D printer. And then additionally, we also figured out that if they get the printer, they also have to pay an immense amount of taxes to import the printer into the country, which was also crazy. I didn't know that. So it would get super expensive for me. It would also get additionally super expensive for them to actually receive the device. And then I was trying to figure out how we can do this in the future. That, I mean, shipping cost is crazy. And I figured that because we had a lot of the giveaways going to Europe, and that wasn't that crazy. At least it was at least somewhat manageable from a cost perspective. But South America and even the US and Canada from Germany shipping a printer, it is like logistically it doesn't really make so much sense. So what I decided to do instead is we're gonna probably switch to something that's much easier, which is gonna be, we have to figure out a list of countries which are which offer Amazon vouchers. In that, like, Brazil even doesn't have Amazon vouchers. I figured, so I was trying to figure out, can we instead give the person Amazon voucher? No, because Amazon in Brazil doesn't offer Amazon vouchers, which is crazy. I didn't actually know that. So comes down to the point that we have to restrict the list of countries to countries where we can actually give vouchers instead of having to ship. I think it's like in the end it's going to be better because you can use the voucher for anything that you want, right? And there is no shipping costs involved. Amazon ships mostly for free. Depends on the thing, of course, but most of the stuff is shipping for free. And so that's going to be probably the new rules, right? So we're going to use Amazon vouchers as the giveaway, so we have all of the freedom. And what I'm doing to pay for the vouchers is I'm going to sell the stuff on eBay in Germany, so I can then pay for the vouchers, which economically makes much more sense to me, because then there's no additional, like, there's basically no additional costs involved. Yeah, unless I sent you the laser. The laser topic it's upcoming, right? So it's like lasers, we're gonna get back into lasers, but I still need to fix the ventilation topic. Still didn't get the the glass expert to come over to look at the window and fix the have an opening in there, like making a new glass basically for the window. But yeah, we're gonna get there at some point. So what is done is done. Seems to be that the calibration step is... Oh, it's still running. Why? Is it still going? Okay, we were probably almost done. It still says we have 30 seconds to go with this calibration, but I mean, it's probably almost there. So what's next here? 2 seconds, 1 second, 0 seconds. Okay, what is next? Completed. Great. What can we do now? Can we start? Is it rebooting? Probably rebooting. So, load the filament according to the instructions below. Okay, so we're gonna push the filament in and we're gonna push the load button. So we're gonna prepare. I've missed a subscription, Alt F4 resubscribed with Prime for 3 months. Thank you very much for that. Thank you for the 3 months, Porphyrius. Already for 4 months. Thank you so much. What we are going to do for the giveaways, by the way, that was one thing that I wanted to change. People asked me about whether we could do it because it's fair. I think it's like, tell me what you think about it. I think it's fair that we have some kind of bonus for subscribers on Twitch, which essentially means that they are using your Prime, your free Prime subscription that you can spend on any streamer. So that these people that have subscribed on Twitch, which however they do it, whether they use their Prime subscription or a real subscription, also get more points from the loyalty system. I'm putting this I'm putting this out for debate. We can also do a poll. It's actually a fairly good chance to try out polling on Twitch. Never did that. Let me quickly try that. I think we can do. Can we do some kind of polling here directly from the chat? Not sure. Open the setup menu to create a poll. Yes. How do I do this? Here we go. Question. So question will be, shall we give more points to subscribers per minute? That means basically more loyalty points, more Nozzle points. Yes. No. How much more we're gonna debate, but you can basically vote for the next 2 minutes on Twitch. Let's try this out. I never tried the polling on Twitch. Is it working? I'm not sure if anything is showing up for you. Not yet. It's not happening. Okay, I've been sending this. I don't know what's happening. Is this something supposed to happen? Or am I missing? Am I missing something here? Let me see if I have to do something. There's a poll feature. Is it working here? Is this actually something from Stream Elements? Or is it a Twitch feature? Why is it zoomed in so much? So, That's a very good question. So, Paul, you can see it now. Is it showing up? Okay, it's probably a UI feature that's I'm not seeing the poll, but it's probably on screen for you if you're on mobile or on desktop. And some people already see it. Okay, hammer it. So we're gonna insert the filament for now. This is the next step to do. Putting the filament in. As per the instructions on screen, I'm pushing the filament into the back PTV tube. Okay, so I've pushed it in. Question to you guys, let me know, did this hype train started? Okay, so I hear at least that something is in the audio is happening. Let me try something out. Let me try whether the alert function is actually working. Cheering 200. Is it working?
Howdy, my name is Bill.
I see. That was just a test. Is TTS also working? Strange. Didn't hear anything. Why did it not work? Why can I not hear that?
Born too late to explore the Earth, born too early to explore the universe, born perfectly to explore dank memes.
Dang it. So the strange part is I couldn't hear the audio. We're gonna try this. We're gonna give it a try. So let's see. Let's get this print started. So probably this button here is for selecting the type of material. So it's currently set to PLA, which is we have a lot of choice here. We can select all kinds of different materials. We're gonna use the PLA. Is there also hyper fast PLA? No, probably not. Okay. So let's press this preheating button. Okay, it's going to heat up the printer now. And once this is heated up, this is already happening, 150, okay. So probably we're going to push the filament a little bit into the extruder, see if it's working. Almost there, 210. Heating completed. I can feel it's grabbing the filament, pushing it in. So let's take a look at the nozzle, whether it's coming out. Yes. So we are loading the blue filament now. We're dropping plastic. We're dropping plastic on the build plate. Okay. Okay, so this is done. I have the filament extruded. Yeah. Okay, so I guess we can kick off the print. Let's get this focused. We probably have to figure out where we want to put the camera just in a moment while we are looking for a print file. I guess there is nothing on... Is it printing something now? Oh, it's already trying to start a print. It's probably part of the initial procedure to print something like a cube. So it is starting this print here. That's what's happening right now. So let's take a look how this comes out. And we wanna focus on the center. This is probably a little bit of a challenge now. I want to show it to you. So let's wait until it really starts so we can actually put this into the right spot. You're still probably a little bit too low for the print. Print pad is going to come up quite a bit now. So and I want this to be visible for you. Spine, I wanted to show you the result of this atom stack I won. I've been working on cardboard packaging for my product. Yeah, why not? I mean, I'm interested to see it. If you want to show it, you can, of course, you can show us on Discord. So probably want to put it on Discord in the project showcase, right? And you've already done that, I guess. So let me show it to everyone. So this is what you've done. A mad dog engraving. Nice. MFT magnetic plugs, 32 plugs plus 2 extractors. I have no idea what this is. What is this for? MFT magnetic plugs. What is this for? What's the product that you're selling? So the printer is printing. We want to show it. Probably have to adjust a bit more. So let's get this up kind of tiny bit so we can see the print going down. I think that's good. Can we get a little bit further in? Okay, so we got a little bit closer. And we probably need to change. Give me a second. Okay, so I think this is better. So it's simply printing a little cube here, putting down layers. Magnets for MFT is a Festool bench. Magnets for woodworking bench holes. Interesting. Okay. Maybe you want to show us some pictures of the actual thing that you're doing with this. I would be interested to see how this all comes together in the end. Like, maybe you want to post a few more pictures on Discord. Ah, I see. Okay, I can show it. This is how it looks like. So you're using this tool to put in these little covers for the woodworking bench. Okay. Is this also used for removing? Or how do you get those out of the hole? Just by pushing? Is it magnetic? Okay, so if it's magnetic, yeah, maybe make a little video and show us how it's working. Nice. I think you can also post a little video of that. Nice one. Oh yeah, that's clever. That's pretty clever. I like it. That's actually nice that you can like stack them. That's actually nice. That's nice. Like it. I like it. Cool. So this little cube is coming down. Not a really complex thing here. We want to print something more challenging, I guess. The printer was also coming with a little USB stick, so let's try to figure out what's on that stick. Actually, it's a real, like it's actually not low quality. It seems to be, oh, where's the camera? SanDisk. So it's not the super cheap USB stick that usually comes with other printers. At least I'm using the same USB stick myself. It's fairly reliable. Hammer is challenging. So what I want to figure out tonight is, first of all, we want to see what's on the USB stick so we can print a couple more prints. Hopefully that are going to be not that huge and taking long. Also checking what's in this box here. There is additional nozzle in the box. Is this actually a different diameter? Yes, it's a 0.6 millimeter. You can't see that, but let me show it. That's great because I'm actually very tempted to switch the nozzle to 0.6 because I guess it's not going to be kind of a quality loss. Not a huge quality loss, but we can probably print faster and we have a little bit more reliability with carbon fiber material, especially. It's anyways highly recommended if you are printing carbon fiber or any material that contains some fiber, you should think about getting a 0.6 millimeter nozzle. So how does the cube look like? Can we already get it off? Where is it? Well, the material is, of course, can we get this sharp, please? It's going to be a little challenge. So this material is, of course, very forgiving in terms of layer lines because it's shiny and it also has these particles. But yeah, we have a little test cube that came out nicely. We are going to test out other prints now. Let's figure out what's on this stick here. How do we do that? There's probably some kind of file menu somewhere. Home, print. So what is on the printer is probably a couple of prints here. Cookie cutter, a gearing. That is a nice test if you want to print something that shows the precision of the printer. That's a print-in-place gearing fidget, I would say, a gear fidget. Why not test out that? Because that's going to show us how good the precision is and especially distances and extrusion. We have the usual benchy here. What's on the stick? Any other test files that are not on the printer? Oh, it seems to be very much the same things on the USB stick, so I guess we don't need to use the stick actually. So let's first, I would say I'm more interested in this gearing test. So we have this kind of fidget toy. We can figure out if we can get this moving without any issues. So let's try this. This is going to take us, is there any print time indication here? Probably not, it has 15 layers. I have no idea. Let's just print it. Print time is not showing here. It's showing 0 minutes, so I'm curious when this is going to guess something. But the file name has 38 minutes, so I guess this is rather correct. Let's figure out if this works. 38 minutes in the print file name. In the meanwhile, what I will do is I'm going to install this software for the printer on my computer here, so we can get a little bit of an impression how the Flash print software, which I have been using in the past, but haven't been using it for a really long time now. Probably not since probably 1 year, 2 years. Like the last Flashforge printer that we had here in the studio. What was that? The Adventurer 3? That has been quite a while ago. So since then I haven't been using Flash print. I actually don't have it even anymore on my computer. So let's install Flash print in the meanwhile while the test print is running. I also heard that Orca Slicer is also supporting the printer, so we're gonna figure that out as well. A couple of people have written already in, I think it was either on Amazon or on 3D Jake, where the printer is also selling, actually at a discount at the moment, that Orca Slicer, they have been switching over to Orca Slicer because they are not happy with the Flash print software. So let's figure out what we actually want to use going forward with this printer for testing. I want to give Flash print, I think it's called Flash print. I want to give it a chance at least. But yeah, I'm happy to try out other programs, like preferably Orca Slicer, because that's the one that I'm using mostly. We have also a firmware upgrade file. We're gonna figure out as well what is the latest firmware. The printer should actually have network connectivity, which we didn't enable yet. So I'm guessing that as soon as I'm bringing this printer into the network, it will figure out that there is a new version. Interesting enough, it wasn't asking for a network connection when starting the first calibration. So is it actually printing? I'm waiting for... Did I miss something? What? Oh. Seems to be that it is waiting for the build plate temperature to come down because it was heated up more than it needs to be. For the first test print, it was heated up to, I didn't remember actually what it was. Interesting enough, it's currently stuck with preheating. So that's interesting. Why is it not going forward printing? The temperature is print temperature is here at the value that was required. took quite a while to come down. So my best guess is that the heated bed was hotter than in the first test print was actually at a higher temperature. Now it had to wait. It's now set to 35 degrees. Anyways, I hope this is good now. And we have some stuff on the nozzle tip, which is also interesting because does the printer not have kind of a cleaning procedure? Seems to be not the case. I hope this is not going to be a problem. The Creality does kind of a nozzle clean procedure at the beginning of every single print. It comes to the back and then tries to get rid of the stuff that might be hanging from the nozzle tip. This printer does not seem to do that, but this could also be a firmware topic. So let's see if this comes out as a working piece, and then we're gonna see whether we have a firmware upgrade pending, whether that also fixes or introduces some new things. So I am going to unpack this firmware, this flash print package. Let's do this. Good. I'm not sure if we're gonna get some spaghetti here. Just remember, we didn't do any initial first layer calibration or something. But yeah, let's see if this all prints fine. We're gonna see if this is working. If not, then we'll probably have to stop the print and then do the firmware update first. Looking a little bit weird, to be honest. If I'm honest, I don't see that. I don't trust this first layer. It looks rather like there is a lot of stuff that's not supposed to be there. I would personally, like, if I were having to choose now, I would probably stop the print because there is some things not really. There is some stringing going on. You know what? I would say we are going to cancel the print. We're going to do the firmware upgrade before doing anything else. And we're going to take a look at the first layer, like in a second. We're going to take a look at this result. So let me bring this printer into the network so we can see whether there is a firmware upgrade. So we have different ways how we can do this. The easiest is probably just plugging into the Ethernet cable, which I prefer actually. It is probably more reliable and easier than having to put this printer into the Wi-Fi. Even though you might be interested to see that, but it's for sure the easier way to do it. Now we can do Ethernet. We can enable Wi-Fi, so we can get some hotspots here. And probably have to enter the password. Does it find my studio Wi-Fi? Yes, so we have different Wi-Fis here that we have available. Now we're going to use Ethernet. Let's see if that works. Yes, so I'd say let's keep it like that for now. Let's see if we have a firmware upgrade available. Yes, seems to be the case. And let's do that first, like just for security, safety issues, not having any unexpected things happening, we're gonna run it first. And we're gonna take a look at the result of this first layer. I think it looks a bit weird. Maybe it needs to do a proper first layer calibration for continuing. The biggest issue that I see here is probably the things that were hanging from the nozzle, which have been creating a little bit of an issue here with this first layer. There's this rest of filament that was hanging from the nozzle, and it's sticking to one of the gears, probably creating some issue later at the higher print layers. So I would rather say we don't want to have that, and we're gonna figure out if there is a proper nozzle cleaning procedure now. Let's see. Let's get rid of everything else from the build plate. So yes, fix some errors that occurred during printing. That sounds nice. Let's do the... Yes, let's do it. Yes, please do the firmware upgrade. Update completed. Please restart printer. So how am I supposed to do this? In the past, it was just by switching the printer off. So maybe just do that. Okay, let's start again. It could mean, depending on how they are doing the firmware upgrades, can probably introduce the issue that we have to do the calibration again. Yeah, so we had some first layer poop, not nice. Messy first layer, that's right. Let's figure out if at least we have a better first layer with this update, and maybe some kind of nozzle cleaning procedure, which I think is something that you need to have, or you have to do this manually, which is something that we don't want. So I'm installing Flashprint in the meanwhile, just to let you know. So we didn't look at the result of the poll. What was it? Poll ended. Did you see the result of the poll? How can I see this? Manage poll. View results. Okay, I see. Never use this. The voting breakdown. Okay, we only had 3 votes, which are probably the 3 subscribers. Yeah, I mean, that's not really representative. But guessing, that was my best guess. People also like asked me, a couple of different people asked me, can we give more points to subscribers? Can we also give more points to followers? Like, that is another thing that we can followers are people that are just basically just following the channel, getting notified when I'm online. So let's see if that is also a thing. Let's do it for 5 minutes so everyone gets to see it. Yeah, I guess we want to find a good ratio. 1.1 or 1. Maybe 1.2, 1.1, 1.25 or something, and like 1.5, 1.7. Like I would even say we can also give more to subscribers. I wouldn't go as far as giving twice, but I would say like a reasonable uptake should be good. And so the printer has restarted. It's not asking for a real calibration. It's good because I didn't actually want to do that. So what we can do now, maybe just for, let's test the very same print one more time and see what the printer does in terms of first layer things that happen. I hope that they have some kind of mechanism to clean the nozzle properly so we don't have things hanging. So we'll have to wait until this thing heats up. It's coming up again. Okay, so as soon as this is starting, I'm trying to focus again, so we get to see it as best as possible. The poll is still running. I have no idea. Can I see the poll now? View the results. Is it real time? We have 5 votes for... We already have 5 votes for pro followers getting more points. I would say this is a clear winner already, unless someone votes against it. So the thing is the ratio, a fair ratio. Is it? No, we were pointing to a little bit too high or too low. So there is some kind of, it's printing a layer line here, like a little line on the left, and then also nothing else actually. So it is not really doing this kind of nozzle cleanup that is it working? Okay, so let's see if this is, if we can see the first layer. At least we have nothing in terms of things that get pushed around, but it is still not doing kind of this nozzle cleaning procedure where it's like it's heating up, it's bringing the nozzle down. That's happening on the K1C. That Creality does it on the Ender 3v3, on the K1C, and also on the KE, and also Bamboo Lab does it basically for all of the printers. It's pushing the nozzle to 0 distance. It's moving the nozzle across the print bed while the nozzle is cooling from 220 to 140 degrees. So the filament gets colder and colder, and it gets stickier and stickier until the point where there's nothing that can resist. Or basically, when the printer then removes the nozzle from the print pad, it's really pulling everything from the nozzle. It works 99% of the time, at least. I think it's a fairly proven concept, and it's not. Flashforge seems not to do that. Maybe we can do this somewhere in the firmware, or we can do it in the software. Let's figure this out. I'm installing the flash print at the moment. Okay, so let's see if we're going to see this in a moment. We can also take a look in Orca Slicer in the meanwhile. Just try and give it a quick look. Give a quick look in Orca Slicer whether the printer is listed. I guess it was listed, if I'm not completely wrong. Let's see. M5. Oh, that's the anchor. Flash. 5M, not M5. So Flashforge Adventurer 5M Pro. That's the printer. So I'm just gonna add it for curiosity to see whether this is actually working. We also have flash print. I'm gonna give it a try as well. So that looks fairly, like even the bar here, like this handle at the front is visible. It's nice in Orca Slicer. So let's see if flash print is it really, what the new version is available. I thought I had the latest version. Yes. Okay. I mean, 583 was the one that was officially listed here. Interesting. Now it is even a more recent. So let's close this. The height. Okay, that means I keep the download. I have to set my Windows language to English finally. Why is it still German? Okay, so let's unpack that. So we can get that latest version installed. Yes. So, how is our poll doing? 100% for yes. Yes, we should give more Nozzle points to followers. So let's fix that. We want to fix it here in, where is it? Loyalty settings. So currently we are not giving anything differently. So we can give we can make a subscriber multiplier. The question is, how does it work? It's only working in multiples. Okay, you can only give a multiple 1 time, 2 times, 3 times. So currently you see viewers will get 5 nozzles every 10 minutes, subscribers will get 5 nozzles every 10 minutes. All cheers will receive 0 nozzles for every 100 bits. All subscribers will receive 0 nozzles upon subscribing. That's also another possibility. Following, all followers will receive 0 nozzle upon following. Tipping, raiders. So that's only 1 time loyalty points. I think you don't want to have 1 time. Interesting enough, there's no switch here to have follower bonus. What we can do is we can give a follower bonus of, let's say, 5. Like if someone follows the channel, probably they have been watching quite a while. Like my guess is if someone follows this channel, they probably have been watching like an hour at least or something. So we can give like 30 nozzles for following, which is about worth an hour of watching. On top, subscriber bonus. And the thing is, we can probably give a subscriber multiplier, but the thing is I cannot select anything in between. That's a bit weird. Why not 1.x? Though I'd rather, like, I will probably not go beyond 2x because that's also crazy. But why not have a follower bonus once you follow the first time? Tipping, subscribing, cheering. I don't know, bonus points for cheering, 100 bits. I don't know if we want to give some bonus for cheering. Maybe want to give some bonus for cheering, but I guess we want to give. I think for cheering we should have at least like some really good memes. So I have a few memes. Let's take a look at the memes. I think at least, I hope that you agree that I have a couple, at least 2 nice memes. So let's get back to the print actually, because then you can see the memes. So we have the change in place. So if you subscribe, you get a subscriber bonus of 2x loyalty points for the giveaways, and for the first time following, you get 30 additional points, about worth an hour of watching. So what do we have in terms of memes? We have this one here, which we had already. I'm not sure if you can hear the audio, because without the audio, it's half as funny. Let's try one that has audio. Let's see if this works. I can't hear anything. Strange enough, sometimes it doesn't work. Try one more time. Okay.
Do not fear a man that spams
That was one of
1,000
them.
memes. Instead, fear a man that spams a meme
Second one
1,000
is
times.
this one here. Let's see if this works. The audio is doubled. Okay, so we're gonna fix that. We're gonna fix that. Shouldn't be. Yeah, I know why. I know why. Because I have this monitoring screen it's on mute. So muting the audio. Okay, so Flashforge is almost ready. Flashprint is almost probably first one looks like green party reaction to election results. The second one is not showing. Why is it not showing? Why is it not showing? It should show. And the other should.
Do not fear a man that spams 1,000 memes. Instead, fear a man that spams
I'm
a
looking
meme
for more stuff
1,000
like that.
times.
Probably have to loop it at least one more time, so I'm gonna have the videos play a little bit longer. So let's try that again. What is weird, is that the text-to-speech, I can't hear it actually. Maybe you can hear it, but I can't hear it. So maybe it was not loud enough. Let's figure out if this, did you hear text-to-speech? I'm just curious, did you hear it or did you not hear anything? You can hear it. So the text-to-speech that supposed, it was so, maybe the printer is too loud and I can't hear it. Let me try again. If I can hear it, it should be playing for me as well. I should hear it as well. Howdy, my name is Bill. Okay, so let's try Howdy, my name is Bill. Was probably, maybe I can set up increase the volume.
Howdy, my name is Bill.
Check. This is crazy. So, yeah, the printer. Why is the audio now oversteering so much? What's happening? What is happening? Something's clearly broken. Well, is it just me or what's going on? Strange. Ah, I know why, because, yeah, this cable here, the headphone cable is, kind of, it has a little issue here, so I have to touch it, so it's not fixed. I hope I can hear myself now better. I can actually hear myself better now. Noise gate is also off. Yeah, that's right. Let's fix that. Let's see if we can fix it. Better, I guess. Okay, so the noise gate is at least working a little bit better. We're still printing this little fidget toy. Curious how it's coming out. Okay, so let me try text to speech again. Maybe I just was not hearing it.
Howdy, my name is Bill.
Okay, it's working now. That's great. That's great. So at least one thing is working. Okay, so in the meanwhile, I have finished installing Flashprint, the latest version. So let's see. Yeah, this is like very much looks like as it was 2 years ago. Nothing changed. Okay, so Nozzle has been repaired fine. Let's see if like we can find all the settings. Connect the machine. That's that. Okay. Nice. So it finds the machine immediately, which is great. Printing. Okay, can we monitor the printer? Okay, so we can also probably group printers and have multiple printers printing the same thing using these groups here. Okay, nice. Is there any more, like can we watch the camera? Is it possible? Does it have a camera? Currently not working. I'm not sure if the printer even has a camera because it's not showing camera. No. Okay, this is something we have to figure out. So where are all the settings? Where is all the settings? Okay, machine type, nozzle size, we can select that. Start slicing. Okay, so here we go. We have some default settings, Flashforge PLA, Flashforge Hyperspeed PLA. That's what we have. We have all the default temperatures. I'm not going to change anything, honestly. Just checking a few of the basic things. We obviously do not want to have supports. Can we disable supports from here? Or is it in general settings? Okay, so let's do the slicing. How long does it take? At least how much time does the printer want to print? Slice preview, okay. So 22 minutes for the Benchy. That's at least the plan. That's realistic. How is the fidget toy doing in the meanwhile? It's doing fairly well, right? So it's making progress. No issues so far, at least not as much as I see. So this is Flashprint. Now I can tell you that generally I do not like this interface so much because Like to start slicing, it always opens this pop-up window, and I'm always like, where is the profile actually, right? So like, does it have any profile actually? Is it, yeah, is it this one? Yeah, I think this is a standard slice profile. So there isn't that many different profiles, which is also weird because like, why don't we have at least a couple? So there's little profiles, only one per material, and so we have not many choices here. Like for each setting that we want to change, like different layer heights, for example, we would have to create a new profile ourselves. Now, if we look at Orca Slicer, just to check that, I think that is it makes more sense to me how this works. Why? Let me explain this. Let's find some model. Let's do the same Banshee. So why does it make more sense to me? For me, it makes more sense because, first of all, you have a printer selection. You can select different printers. It supports multiple printers, even not Flashforge. Plus for me. Plus point for me. Plus one. Second, you have different filament profiles. And then you have different presets. Now, unfortunately, there's only one here, but it is basically you can see all of the settings right from the beginning. You don't need a pop-up window or something. Why a pop-up window? Why can we not have some kind of permanent setting window? And then I know that Orca Slicer has a very reliable and very usable profile functionality. So you can export your profiles as a preset bundle. And it gives you all kinds of different choices. You can have a printer configuration bundle. You can have a filament bundle. You have basically all the printer presets and filament presets, process presets that you can export and import. And that makes it super convenient if you have a friend, for example, or if I wanna like basically give you a profile for a printer to export just the specific thing, just the set of settings that I wanna really export. For example, if I create a whole set of profiles for the printer, I can just export that, which is super difficult, for example, also with Prusa Slicer. Prusa Slicer doesn't have that. You can't really export printer specific. You just can export everything or nothing, which is weird. So it's much more convenient if you want to share profiles and import and export. And there's so many other things that I like more. So probably need a more in-depth comparison, but if I have the choice of using this versus any other program, I figure that this is working, I prefer this. Now, the question of the question is, of course, can this talk to the printer? That is a very good question. I don't know. Flashforge. Okay, let's figure out if this works. What do we need here? Host name. We need to figure out the host name. It's probably like the easiest is to look in this list. Where is it? 169. Okay. Works. Question is device UI. What is the device UI? Specify the URL of your device user interface. Well, that might be something we have to figure out. What is the UI address? Probably not this. Yeah. So we might have to do some research where how we can reach the UI page. That shouldn't be a huge issue. You went from like spline is still stuck on Cura, like yeah. I'm not sure what to say. I think I can highly recommend Orca Slicer to you. Like, try it out. It's really worth it. So once you get used to this, you don't want to use anything else because you have so many choices of, like, you can print on any printer that you have, especially if you have multiple 3D printers of different brands. Orca is the best so far, yeah. I went from Cura to Simplify 3D back to Cura and now Prusa Orca. So many people have that. How are we doing in the meanwhile with the print? Doing good. We're making progress, I guess. We're in the last couple of layers. Probably missing, I don't know, maybe, 10 layers, maybe, something like that. Yeah, and in the end, you have to use what's best for you, right? If you figure that you have something that's working for you, then there might not be any reason to change. I just figured that I didn't really love Prusa Slicer. It was working for me, but it wasn't. In the end, support for other printers wasn't that great. It supports some other printers, but not every 3D printer that I had at that time. And then Bamboo Slicer was ported, or there was like Orca Slicer derived from Bamboo Slicer that had so many improvements and so many interesting features that I was like tempted to try it, and I never looked back. Honestly, it was just being out of curiosity, trying it out, and then like basically figuring out, oh, this is actually what I want. This is just working. Okay, so the port is 8080. Is it working? Let's see. No. I'm just trying to figure out, is there a website that we can address? Stream simple. Okay, let's figure out if this works. Okay, so the print is done. We're gonna have a look in a second. Okay, so printer is done with the print. So we should be able to test out the preview. I'm not sure if this is working now. Okay, we have to try this later. Let's take a look at the result here. So we need a little bit more brightness here. So this is the fidget toy. Carefully getting this off. Hope this works without breaking it. So we're gonna take a look in the top view. This is easier. Okay, so let's see if this works. So this is how it came out. Visually it looks nice. Now the question of the questions is how nicely does it move? Does it move? And it does, and it's actually working nicely, you see? Not any problem. So the clearances seem to be working fine. So, where we are, here we are. So you can do this 4 hours, right? Nice. Okay, so that worked without any issues. I like it. Now, coming back to our slicer program, my question now is, can we, without any problems, I don't want to like finish the print necessarily, but just I want to try out, can I just send this over by using the IP address? Is there anything else that we have to do? This device UI doesn't work, but maybe something to figure out. We just have entered the IP address of the printer. At least it tells me connection works. So that should be enough, hopefully, to send the file. Can I actually send it to the printer? Well, we can just try. Like, I'm just want to see if it's working just out of the box. Is it actually sending the file over to the printer? Is it arriving and printing? So, or is nothing happening? We'll have to see. So, for now, nothing is showing on the printer menu. I don't see anything happening here. Interesting. I'm not sure, is the printer, maybe the file has arrived. Maybe the file is there and the printer didn't start printing. That could be the case. Let's see if this is actually the fact. Yes, so we have the file on the printer. This is the new one, which is green. The blue ones have been the stock, basically files that had been already on the printer before. The green one is a new file. The only thing that didn't work, it didn't really start the print. Maybe that's something that isn't supported with Orca Slicer, but we can now start the print from here. And of course the same, yeah, we don't want to delete the file. We also want to check same thing with flash print, of course, but there I guess it is simply working, or probably also starting the print. Wait a minute. Where is my flash print? Where is my flash print? Where is it? Here it is. So, slice preview, we have the 22 minutes planned. What are the buttons here? We can download the file and we can also send the file. And it's printing. So it's supposed to start the print. Is it actually happening? Yes. So that worked. So from FlashPrint, it is automatically starting. From Orca Slicer, it is only copying the file. Probably not a huge problem. But it's definitely a little difference there. That's the things that you have to live with if you are using like a third-party open source software. Sometimes things aren't exactly working in the same way. But yeah, they are going to print. Can you mod me so I can ban these damn bots, please? Okay, let me see. On Twitch, probably. Sure. Yeah, that's you should be moderator. Why are you not moderator? You should be moderator. Let me see. You are moderator. I mean, every time if you look yourself, if you post something, then you have this green sword. I'm wondering, are you talking about Discord or are you talking about Twitch? Maybe, I mean, I have an auto moderation feature enabled. Let me see, what can I do here? There has been someone posting something, it has been automatically deleted or like restricted. The question is, what can I do? Can I ban this person? Yes. Okay, but did you see this little pop-up message with the message basically highlighted and the poster of the message? Like, did you see that little one on your screen, on your Twitch? That was showing in my Twitch history, it was showing this chat. And maybe you need to view Twitch, maybe you need to view Twitch in a different way. Maybe you need to switch to some kind of dashboard. I'm not sure if you can just do this from the normal watch page. Maybe you have to switch over to the creator mode. I don't know if this works if you are just a moderator. I have to figure that out actually. Never tried that. So, is it working? So we are printing a Banshee now. Does it work for you? Okay, moderator page. On PC, you should be able to do that. I had to click on the name of the person to get this little pop-up, and then I could click on ban. That worked for me. Great. Okay, Hydrain. I think I missed. Did I miss a subscription? Xylion resubscribed with Prime for 3 months. Thank you again for that. I hope this was the only one. Did I miss anything else? Okay, so by the way, if you didn't notice yet, I have changed the settings for the the loyalty points. So basically what you get as a subscriber, you get 2x, twice the points, and new follower bonus is 30 points. So let's announce the new giveaway, which we did not yet do. Copy, paste. Okay, so let me get date set up. Are you going to get the new Key X Plus 4? Sorry, not sure if Key is sending me that. Maybe. They didn't reach out to me yet. 30th of October, 30th. Okay, so I'm just setting up the giveaway for October. So the rules of the game are basically you have to be in a country where I can actually use the voucher. So I'm trying to, of course, get you a voucher when you win from a country that you're living in. If you're not living in a country where there is Amazon or there's Amazon vouchers, we will give the giveaway to another person. We have to redraw because you cannot, like, it doesn't, otherwise it doesn't work. So. So the rules of the game are you have to be in a country that actually offers Amazon vouchers. Okay. Man, what's going on? Description should not be longer than 350 characters. Yes. Man, what's going on? Why is this not working? Okay, so this is working. Hopefully, I'm gonna send it to you as soon as it's live. 4 tickets per user is unlimited. Send confirmation. Okay, so I hope this works now. Okay, so as soon, yeah, giveaway is live for October. Well, theoretically, I mean, I could give you a voucher. Like if you live in a country that is not offering Amazon vouchers and you live in a country that is like nearby another country that uses that, where you can actually redeem the voucher and have something shipped to you, that's okay for me, right? Is there actually an ad break running? What's Twitch doing? Okay, so my ads just ended. I think Twitch is doing this on their own terms. Pre-roll off. Okay. This is no pre-rolls for the next 20 minutes. So we have, I think that the Banshee is actually coming together quite well. So at least I don't see any visible issues so far. I do have a way to redeem voucher in Germany, but not with too much trouble, so I'm saving Nozzles. Yeah. I wish we could find a sponsor. That's my goal for at least the next couple of months, to find a sponsor that's willing to send something directly to the people. It's actually harder than you think. I'm always asking, like every single time company reaches out to me and says, hey, do you want to test this and that? And I'm always asking, hey, can you maybe join me in a giveaway and send the thing that someone wins directly to the person, so I don't have to deal with the shipping and also not caring about where the person is actually living. So far that didn't work out. So far it didn't work out. That's very unfortunate. Maybe we're gonna get there in the future at some point, gonna work out better. But at the moment, I only get things sent here, and that's basically leaves me with the shipping issues. Which actually I don't want to do, and don't want to do it to countries outside of Europe at least. AliExpress also stopped shipping here. Okay, that's unfortunate. Why? Such a problem, but shipping is so expensive nowadays. It's crazy. Polymaker is good for sponsorships. Yeah, sponsorships with filament brands might be possible. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just still working on a channel, getting a little bit more popular, and getting a little better sponsoring, getting a little bit better relationships. It's going to take some time, but we are going to get there. So the noise gate let's push it up. 3D Jake also doesn't ship anymore. Well, 3D Jake is actually a good indicator. If you look on 3D Jake's website, they have a very extensive list of countries that they are shipping to, and I'd rather say if 3D Jake ships to a country, it's also fairly well priced, and they don't ship to countries where there's super crazy shipping costs. So their list is already quite curated in terms of what makes sense, what doesn't make sense. Still, if you select something like Canada, for example, it's still not cheap exactly, but at least they have a huge list where they have the shipping prices listed. So that's a good indicator. How can I enter the giveaway? I just came back. Came back from what? Where have you been? You missed all the good stuff. Dude, I mean, where have you been? Sea Monarchs, what have you done? Late night work, unfortunately. Okay. Late night. Late night.
Late night.
Got my K1C because it was in a warehouse in Canada, or I would have to pay for shipping. Okay. Yeah, it's probably not bad to look for options which are closer. Event technician. I see. It sounds interesting. Like a lot work with microphones, cameras, and stuff probably. I think the microphone now is working, hopefully it's working a little bit better, so we don't have that much noise anymore. And we could do some funny things like
speaking in a high voice, for example.
probably has something to do with trade embargo, okay. Let's call scammers law. Great. So Banshee is making some progress, I guess. We have probably 10 minutes to go, or maybe not even 10. I'm gonna see if the 25 or 22 minutes that have been calculated is really realistic. What's the actual print time currently? Let's see. We can see this in flash print. Can we? No, we can't. So we have to look at the printer's. We have to look at the printer screen actually to figure out how long it's printing. That's the other unfortunate reality, that, like, if you compare this with something like, where's my flash print main screen here? So you don't really see a lot about the print in the printer. So there's not so much information. Bambu Lab offers you a lot more details. Here we go, Lissy Lab. Yeah, it's printing, but doesn't tell you how long and how long it's gonna be printing. Weird enough, it also doesn't work here to enable the camera. I even don't know if the printer has a camera. We have to figure that out. Actually didn't check that. No, I don't wanna abort the print. So the camera, if there is a camera, we don't see it here. So we can change settings a bit, but really not so much things to control here. You can't really move the printhead around or something if you pause. So the amount of information that you see here is very little. At least the remaining print time would have been nice to see here if I control this remotely. But yeah, that's how it is. Like it's very much the same as it has been the last years. Also with the Adventurer 3, so that not much of a difference there yet. Temu stuff is shit, so it's no loss to them if it goes missing. Yeah, Temu is a different thing. Spline has been looking at the Orca. I'm having issues trying to slice a file that works well in Cura that tells me it can slice. There is a wired I place a magnet into during the print, but it causes errors with Orca. Is there a section I look in? Okay. So you have a magnet space where you probably want to stop the print, right? And then want to pause it at a certain layer, and they want to put the magnet in and continue printing, right? Okay. What kind of errors is this? Like, is it just refusing? Is it just refusing to slice, or is it really creating some artifacts during the print? Okay. What do you mean? Like, what yep? Like, is it creating issues while printing? Is it creating artifacts? Errors in slicing. Okay. And what is the message that you get? One object has empty layer. Okay. That's probably the layer where you're pausing, right? That's weird. Maybe that's a bug. That's interesting. I'm not saying that Orca slicer is perfect, but it might have, like, it probably has bugs. It probably for sure has bugs. You always, like, as Alexander almost moved to Alberta, then Trudeau happened and I didn't. Oh my goodness. Yeah. I understand that in a way. I get that error in Reality Print too. That's interesting. It's happening, like, if you have... Is it only happening if you want to pause the print? What happens if you don't pause the print? Like, you know, just put this, like, if you create a new project and just put it in and, like, just print, is this same error coming? Okay, we are almost done with the print. I see we're doing the chimney. Let's get to the printer. Let's get the print off. It's done. Okay, so the print finished in... Errors from the creator of the print. Maybe it's in the print file, right? Well, then you can try to repair it. Maybe you need to... Maybe re-importing it and re-exporting it fixes the problem. The print actually took 22 minutes. Let me see if this is in focus. No. So here we go. So the print took 22 minutes, which is nice. So the prediction was probably correct. Let's take a look at the Banshee. Let's try to see if it is nicely done. So let's see, how close can I come with this? So what's the problem with the camera screen here? So it looks nice for me. That's pretty clean. Of course, the material again is very forgiving in terms of visual artifacts, but because it has these little particles in, it's glimmering, but it feels really smooth. There is the usual seam on the left side, which can be removed using specific settings. Actually, I can even almost read what's written here, so that's actually a good sign. The bottom is totally clean, so we also have a nice first layer. We can still read the writing. Yeah, we have a tiny bit of stringing here inside. Not so much. It's not really critical, but it is visible. The overhangs are actually pretty clean. If you look at the boat window here, is really clean. So there's no visible issues here with the overhanging. So the cooling seems to be fine. Really good cooling. So I guess that looks really good. It's a really good design. Really good result. So I think we can be happy with this. Now, coming to the actual project that I want to do with the printer. So let me briefly find this project that I want to print. Where is it? So that's gonna be the project for the next couple of weeks. The filament is from Flashforge, I guess. Is it? No, it's actually not sure if it's actually a branded filament. It just says, yeah, it's probably from Flashforge. It's called burnt titanium. Burnt titanium. Is this something that you can buy? Or is it just for demo purpose? Burnt Flashforge. Oh, it's somewhat PLA. It's called HTPLA burnt titanium from Flashforge. Okay. This is the filament. It's actually quite nice. Looks really nice. It has this shiny, like if you look from the side, especially at different colors, blue, somewhere between blue and purple, deep space color, I would say. And really nice filament. So not exactly the cheapest, but it has a really nice shiny look. So my thing that I wanted to print in the next weeks, let's figure out what that is. I have it in my collection here for, I think it was on a Lego collection. So we want to print this here. We want to pick a mega Lego like skeleton 10:1 scale, maybe even a little bit bigger. And we want to do it with ASA material because we're going to keep it in the garden. We're going to keep it at the front door. So it should be resisting sunshine and winter and rain and stuff. So we can keep it there for a longer period, especially for Halloween. But this is the thing that I want to do. So I have a good amount of ASA white filament and also black ASA for the eyes. And then there is awesome add-ons for this. There's so many different nice add-ons like pirate hat, pirate sword, and so many more things that you can add to this print. That's the thing I'm gonna use to test out printing a little bit of a bigger project. And there is like, of course, there's also the Mega Lego minifigure. This is the like say the neutral, where you can also have so many different add-ons. Super nice. I always wanted to print this. Now I have a perfect excuse to do this because Halloween is coming and we want something. We want to have something, a Lego topic, Lego style at the front of our entrance, and we also want to have a couple of these spiders here, and we also want to have, I think, some of the spider webs. So there is a few more ideas that I have that I want to print, so we can have a Lego themed entrance for Halloween. Yeah, Filament Wizards Voodoo. I have a couple of these shiny materials here. Maybe want to do a couple more prints with the printer with using PLA. But yeah, again, I don't. I also want to test the high temperature capabilities and printing the carbon fiber materials with this printer. So we're gonna have a couple of test prints in the next upcoming weeks, so we can get this decent test. So far, I mean, the printer is actually fairly good. If you look at the price, it is also like, think about that. Is a fully enclosed 3D printer. It has 2 nozzles coming with it. Like, it's 2 different nozzles. There is a 0.6 millimeter nozzle, hardened steel, for high temperature printing. So for that, if you think about the price, let me switch to English here. At least for 3D Jake, I was really not disappointed by M5 or 5M. I always get confused. 494 euros for the printer. I think it's including tax. So yeah, that's not too bad if you think that, okay, there's another nozzle, different diameter coming with it, which is also worth something, and it's has this enclosure. I would say it's not a bad deal. Like, it's not the cheapest, but it's also not super expensive. So it's somewhere right in the middle. So we're gonna figure out if it's actually worth that. If it delivers, so to say. For me, the most important part with a 3D printer, it's not only the price. It's not about the cheapest printer. It doesn't have to be the cheapest, but it has to be reliable. And for me, that is becoming more and more important. I need printers that can just print and print and print and going on and on and on and on without issues, right? Anything else, like multicolor, for example, is, for me, that's kind of a secondary thought. It's more about, I want to know that if I start the printer, it is just working. It's not going to clog. It's not going to have surprises for me. And that's it, right? That's what I care most about. Anything else is nice to have, but it's not the primary concern. I had so many printers in the last years, from all different brands, and most of them were struggling mostly with reliability issues. Just getting, if you have to print the same part 10 times, you don't want to have to print it 15 times to get 10 good results, right? Because you have the printer stopping because of no reason, or you have, I don't know, detaching from the build plate, or you have, I don't know, whatever, calibration issues, extrusion issues, clogging issues, whatever. So that's what I'm mostly concerned about. And if that printer works, then I would be happy. We want to figure out what about high temperature, especially because that is something that I think they advertise this as a high-speed printer that can print. How much temperature can it take? Do they actually advertise this? 280. So 280 is not really super high, but it's high enough for nylon materials. So just enough for high nylon materials, and that's what I'm also trying to test here. Like we're gonna print a lot of different higher temperature complex materials that are that require a little bit of a better setup with enclosure. Right, that's what we're gonna do. The other thing here that I immediately see, okay, we only have a build volume of 220 in each direction. That might be, for some people might be, okay, why not 235? Which I would agree. Say, maybe the new standard is actually 235 for these kind of printers, but yeah, 220 is probably still good enough. Still just good enough. Knowing that the Bambu Lab only really can utilize the whole area of printing if you modify them. So an unmodified Bambu Lab printer, the X1 Carbon or the P1P, the P1S, they cannot use the whole print area unless you do a modification. That modification also has as a consequence that you cannot use the AMS anymore. So it has actually it has this kind of disadvantage then, like that if you want to use the AMS and you want to print something that utilizes the whole build volume, well, then you cannot do both. Like you have to choose also with Bambu Lab. And so that's why I say 220 is, if you can really utilize the whole area, then it's also still good enough. Not that I will ever print that hot. Well, the thing is, 280, if you want to print something like nylon material, that's going to be very quickly, you're going to be in that kind of temperature region. It's totally normal. So, depends, right? Depends on the material that you want to use. If you have something that needs special rigidity or your special properties, and you want to have, especially when I print something that is exposed to the sunlight, it narrows down very much the materials that you can use. It is really the choice of, like, if you really look closer, the number of materials that you can print for outdoor application is really small. And most of them require super high temperatures. And of course, because then these materials also need to withstand hot temperatures most of the time, right? Because then otherwise it doesn't make sense to have them in the sunlight in the first place. So, right. So that's the thing. My nozzles have ran away. I think if you didn't watch for long term, it is going to be, I think you have to, if you're not watching for a very long time, then the nozzles get automatically deleted. But if you're watching frequently, this doesn't happen. I think I double checked this last time because I wanted to know what happens actually with the nozzles, and there was something written, but this was like more than a year. Like loyalty points earned will lapse if the viewer has been inactive on the channel for more than a year. That's probably not true for you, right? Did you maybe spend your nozzles last time? I actually bought ASA filament. Well, ASA ventilation is a must. I totally agree. So that's absolutely true. However, I get to like ASA more and more. Even though I know all of the dangers using the material, of course, the health topics. But honestly, it has also this. It's very strong. It's a little bit flexible, but not too much. So it's just right. It's just like for something that like a hook that I was designing for the caravan window. So it is not so flexible. It's less flexible than nylon. It basically doesn't, sunlight shining on it. It was almost zero change in the material softness. So it wasn't really bending. So at least for the ASA, I think it was Prusament ASA that I was testing out lately. the Prusament ASA, but there might be also other ASAs that behave a little bit different. But I will test out more different ASA materials because I think for the purpose that I'm using it for, it really is the perfect material. I also tried nylon and first of all, I was more convinced to use nylon because I thought it has not this kind of nasty, toxic fumes coming out. However, surprisingly for me, the nylon material is actually much more flexible, and different nylon materials have also different levels of flexibility. So nylon isn't equally nylon, so there's different types of nylon material that you can get. Nylon 6, nylon 12, which has different, or nylon 8 even, like, so there is different like molecular lengths in nylon. And so this is the whole science. And so yeah, nylon is probably perfect for a lot of applications, but it's also not the best material for some applications. So you have to like really look into different things and try out different things and tests. And that's why also testing products, building stuff is taking more time. You have to invest time into testing out all of these things and testing them in the real world and exposing them to temperature, sunlight, and then you will figure out if it works. So there's no answer to say, yeah, this is the perfect material for, like, it's not going to work. You will have to figure it out yourself. Every single time, I guess. Every single time you have to figure that out. Unless you have very much a long time experience with this stuff. So, so the bonus system seems to be working. That's awesome. I would also highly encourage you to, please, if you find any great memes regarding 3D printing, anything that is on TikTok, or any animated GIFs that you love that are resembling the 3D printing culture, or any like weird topics like errors that happen frequently, things that happen to you, please post them in the Discord channel. Whereas the best place is probably, I don't know. Actually, I don't care so much. Maybe you do it just in the general channel. We don't have a memes channel yet. We should. Maybe we should. Let's do it. Let's do it. Just doing it. Memes. Okay, let's post memes. So that's going to be a new channel that's called Memes. Just open the channel. I'm going to copy the text link. So if you want to post any memes, post them here. So if you find something, like if you just stumble upon some kind of funny meme that resembles 3D printing or the problems, I was just trying to find some, and I just randomly added them to my stream elements. So yeah, if you didn't see them yet, so I'm gonna play a few. Actually, the one with the cat isn't exactly 3D printing. That was more like one that I wanted to use to resemble, hey, give that to me, or give it to me, which basically is the cat that's reaching out to, like, let's try it again. Let's try it again. 200. Okay, submit. Is this working now?
Give me that. Give me that now.
Oh, it's again playing it twice. Sorry, like, we're gonna try it again. Cheer. The second one was 201. That's so crazy.
Born too late to explore the Earth, born too early to explore the universe, born perfectly to explore dank memes.
So this is so crazy, but if you find stuff, if you go on TikTok, you sometimes find these kind of things. That's kind of cute.
Howdy, my name is Bill.
Okay, so if you stumble upon things like that, memes like that, post them in the memes channel on the Discord server. Please do it. I was like trying to collect a few more, so we can have them, so you can trigger them. So next thing, the printer is cooling down. I guess what I want to do, just want to see. Let's see if I can switch over. So I want to see how easy it is to swap the nozzle. That is supposed to be something very easy. But we should find out, right? So we should find out how that works. So first of all, what we can do, we can bring this thingy to the front. Let's figure out the temperature is now 36 degrees. So it should actually be not too hot. The problem is I actually have to unload the filament. How do we do that? How do we unload? There is a menu for this. So I also try to enable the camera. That is actually a menu setting, so we can figure out if that's working now. Internal circulation filtration, external circulation filtration is also something. We have a filtration system. We can enable that. Okay, let's switch here. But what I actually need to do is I need to unload the filament. So let me find that menu item here. Is that somewhere available? That's a good question. Now, can we do this here maybe? This is the light switch. This is what? Printer information. Come on, get back. The nozzle. I can set the temperature. So I'm just looking for something that looks like an, I don't know, filament menu or something like that. Position. I'm wondering, is there anything that is kind of looking like a filament unloading loading function? What is that? Homing, okay. That's a homing button. Okay, that was XY homing. The question is really, is there anything regarding, I want a filament change menu, please. So I had to enable the camera here. That's probably why it wasn't working. So we're gonna see this in a second. But here we have it. Here we have it. So we have a load function. We have a swap function. What's that? There's just some tips how to use it. So let's start. Now it's preheating. That's a little bit unfortunate. I actually wanted to have it cool down. Now it's going to heat up again. So, but this is unavoidable. So we want to get rid of the filament first. Then we can wait a little bit until it cools down again, and then we can hopefully just do an easy nozzle swap. That's one of the advertised features of this printer, that the nozzle swapping is actually very easy. That was truly the case for the Adventurer 3. It was just one little, I would say, one switch that you had to do to get the nozzle unlocked, and then you could just pull it out, pull the new nozzle, put the new nozzle in, and then just get started. That was super, super convenient. So I'm wondering if that's the case here as well. It peeled off after 30 hours of printing? What do you mean? I mean the failed print. Can happen, right? So nozzle swapping is not really explained in the quick start manual. I'm wondering if there is anything else in terms of, is there online explanation how to do this properly, so we don't wanna make any mistakes here. Flashforge. So, is it already unloaded? No. Still waiting. Loading finished. Guys, I want to unload the filament, not load the filament. I want to unload. This is loading. This should be unloading. This is actually the swapping icon. This is a loading icon. This is a swapping icon. Why is it not unloading? It should be first unloading and then should load new filament. Unless I'm completely mistaken about the functionality of... Dang. So let's see if we have a more extensive... Can you please unload the material now? No, it's just pushing it in. Why is it only pushing in? It should be unloading. Okay, so do we have to do this manually then? Okay, probably just... Why is there then still two different menus for this? This is strange. It should be unloading the filament, honestly, and then load new filament. This is actually, and on the Adventure 3 that was a nozzle, that was a filament loading, and that was a filament change menu, and it's not changing, it's just loading, which is weird. We can try this manual. We can set temperature to something. Can we? Isn't there a setting for the temperature here? So let's do this 220. Go. Let's then unload. Can we? That's actually interesting. Is there anything that we like? Can we control the extruder here? I don't think so. That's an interesting question. Can we force the extruder to extrude or like pull back the filament from this menu? I'm not sure. This is actually doing nothing here, right? So, I'm really curious. This is nothing. We only can move the print head, honestly. We can only move it. Yeah, we have to home first, okay. We only can move the print head, but we cannot really control the extruder motor from here, which is why? Why is this not possible? So, any ideas? That's the new added bug after the firmware update, yeah. I don't get it. Why is it not possible to simply control the movement of the extruder in this menu? This is simply missing, right? There should be a menu item to do this. I can heat the nozzle to a temperature, but why should I be able to do it even in the first place if I cannot move the extruder motor? And I hope I'm not missing anything here. I think not. I think I'm not missing any button or something. And this menu is also broken. If you ask me, this should be for loading the filament, and this should be first unloading the filament like it has been on the Adventurer 3. Honestly, that was absolutely the thing. It was first unloading and then it was loading new filament. That's what this swapping symbol is for, right? It's a symbol with two spools and circular arrows, so it's pointing from one spool to the other. That's clearly a menu that's supposed to do the unloading and then the loading, and it's not working. That was usually done to, like this was usually used on the Adventurer 3 to get the filament out, and this is not working. So I honestly have no idea how to do this now without sending G codes, literally. I don't want to do that. And truth number 2, Flashprint does not have any control functions. I mean, you can see the information here, but we have no control over anything else except we have a list of print files, nice, yes, but we cannot really, like even here, we have no control. You cannot go and say, hey, I don't know, set the temperature here, move that nozzle. Why is that not here? Why don't they add this here? We can send G codes. Okay, we could, no. Can we send G codes? No, we cannot even send custom G codes. Okay. So there's no way that we can do this remotely. This is, yeah, why not? So I think this is one of the topics that I have to discuss with Flashforge in the next weeks. One of the feedbacks that I have to give them, like, sorry, but we need more control. We need a temperature control in the software. We need extruder control in the menu. We need an unloading function, that's properly working. So basic stuff, right? Basic stuff, and it has been there in the Flashforge 3. I'm 100% sure that the Flashforge 3 has this button works in a way that it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be an unloading and then a loading. It's like unload, load, unload, load. So it does two things in one menu item. And this is simply not working here. So I'm 100% sure that this should be the thing. But yeah, I'm gonna figure that out. Let's see how fast I can do this. So I have no way now. Like, how should I unload the filament now? Maybe I should just cut the filament and wait what's happening, right? So let's see if it should. If the filament runs out, at least there is a filament sensor. I know that. There is a filament sensor on the printer. So if the filament runs out, then we should be able to swap out the filament. We have to trick the printer into doing it. Yeah, that's the only way, I guess. So let's see. I'm gonna cut the filament. I'm going to say, hey, load filament. Load filament. Load it, and load it, and load it. And let's see what happens. If we load it multiple times, at some point it should be running out of filament. And then, hey, a raid! There's a raid! My goodness, this is the first raid. If I'm not completely mistaken, hello raiders! Which channel was raiding? Let me see. Chaos Drucker. My goodness. The friends from Swedish Bavaria. My goodness. Thank you very much. Hello raiders. 56 people raiding the channel. That's crazy. We're currently testing a Flashforge 5M Pro. Or was it the M5 Pro? I'm always confused. Was it? It's the 5M Pro. And we just did a couple of test sprints on this device. What we're currently trying to figure out is how to load and unload filament, because that was one of the things we were just stumbling upon. We were saying, okay, we want to change the filament to another material, and we figured that the menu item that's supposed to do it and had, this was already present in the Flashforge Adventurer 3, that menu item, it does nothing but loading filament, but it doesn't unload the filament. Hey! There's so many new people in the chat. Welcome the people from Chaosdrucker. It's a German 3D printing channel. Chris is streaming, I think he's streaming multiple times a week. He's doing awesome Voron prints. He recently did a huge mammoth print. Also does gigantic 3D printed boats. So many crazy projects. So it's an awesome channel. So if you're into, like, if you understand German, the Chaosdrucker channel is definitely a channel to watch. If you wanna especially get yourself more into Voron builds, because that's I think it's what makes this channel particularly interesting, right? Hey, so thanks for coming by. So we want to figure out if the filament runout is helping us here. My idea was to misuse the filament runout sensor again. Do it again. To use the filament runout sensor that definitely exists on this printer to trick the printer into into a mode where we can actually swap the filament, because this menu item is clearly broken. It should be doing, like, this is the second one actually here, it should unload the filament and then it should load new filaments so we can swap filament, but it doesn't do that. So currently it's extruding. We already pushed out quite a lot of material here, but it is currently extruding, and at some point it should realize the filament is running out, and then we hopefully can get new one. Is it working? Still pushing filament. I'm wondering how long this will work and where the filament sensor is sitting. Could be two things. Either it's in the printhead or it is at the beginning of the PTFE tube that goes into the printer. I am not so sure actually. What I see is that the filament is already, it's closing, it's coming close to the end of the PTFE tube here. So this is, let's push this a little bit. So I see the filament is already here, right? So it's almost running out. So my best guess is that the filament, if the filament sensor is working, then it's supposedly here in this printhead. So we can then let's do and push the rest in. Let's see what happens if we push it completely into the printhead and whether that triggers an error at some point and tells us, hey, filament is actually running out. So I was maybe wrong in my thoughts that the filament runout sensor is at the beginning of the inlet on the back of the printer. Maybe it's really in the printhead. So now it's completely gone in, so there's nothing left. Well, it's making a weird noise now. Obviously there's nothing. There's nothing to extrude anymore, my friend. And so it is empty. The motor is still running, so it means, okay, potentially we can probably push new filament in now. My concern mainly was I wanted to get the filament out because we want to, yeah, okay, you can stop, my friend, you can stop. I'm setting the temperature to 0. We want to wait a little bit until it cools down so we can swap the nozzle. My next idea was we want to swap the nozzle. We get a 0.6 millimeter nozzle coming with the printer, which is appreciated because this will give me a better chance of printing carbon fiber filament without any issues and other material that has fiber components like wood components, for example. And this is supposed to be super simple because the whole thing just gets pulled out. But we still want to have it cooled down so it's like less of a risk of burning yourself. So let's have this cool down and then hoping that we can get it out easily. So we can take off the cover, of course, that's not an issue here. That's just done by pulling these little two levers here. And then we can basically just pull out the nozzle at some point. But let's wait until it's completely cooled down. Alexander, German is limited. Hi, gute Nacht. I wish you a good night. Have fun. It's quite late already in Germany. But there's no German speakers here in the audience, except the people from the Chaos channel. If you want to stick around, we're going to stick around a little bit longer. We want to try nozzle swapping at least. I think this is the last thing that I want to try out for tonight. Because that is... Yeah, I also want to figure out how is it going to be released. Is there anything that is holding it in terms of any screws? Or is it just a mechanism to where we pull out? There is actually nothing... There's no screw, like indication at least there is any screws, but there is some holding brackets here. So we need to figure out how we can release the nozzle. So let's see if we find something in the official manual. It isn't not mentioned anywhere in this quick start manual. There's nothing about nozzle swapping, which is a little weird because like, this is probably something, if you deliver a new nozzle with the printer, you should also mention how to do it. But we can probably do this, figure out in the online manual. So I'm trying to get this downloaded. A complete manual is available, that's great. While this is cooling down, let's take a look if we find something about nozzle swapping anywhere in the manual. Software, installation. Filament loading and changing. I'm wondering what this is supposed to do. Okay, so that wasn't mentioned in the quick start, so we have to look in the online manual. How to swap the filament is... I mean, why is this different from the original printer, from the previous one? Pull out the filament guide and cut the filament. Okay, so we are supposed to do the cutting right at the end of the PTV. Well, and then we are supposed to click this button. So it's just running the filament as long as it can, and then at some point it's gonna run out. Okay, and pushing the new filament in. Well, technically that's probably working, but it's not the most. I mean, is this the most ideal way? I wouldn't say so. How to unclog the nozzle? How can we replace the nozzle? Okay, so we have removed the filament. We are pressing the buckles. Okay, so the orange buckles are actually for releasing the nozzle. It's not for releasing the cover. Interesting. Okay, so these two little levers here at the front, they are actually for the nozzle swap. Interesting. So I was thinking this is for releasing the cover only, but it's also for releasing the nozzle. So we can, is it still hot? I'm afraid to touch, but it's, can we just pull it out? Yes. So it's just pulling, And you can see here there is still a little bit of filament left over here. I'm not sure if this is the most ideal way how to do this, honestly, but this is how they wanted to do. They want us to leave this piece of filament in the extruder, in the nozzle. I would prefer to have it pulled out, but there is no menu item to pull out the filament. Actually, what I would have, I said it before, we want effectively a reverse filament menu item and say we want to reverse the filament. We want to just pull it out. Why is this not existing? There is no menu item in the printer, which is completely, I don't get it. There's no menu item that allows us to move the extruder in any direction. We cannot we cannot move the extruder and have it running forward or backward. It's not possible from the printer menu. We can heat the nozzle in the printer menu, but we cannot make the extruder move, which is a basic function. Okay, so we have a commercial. Is ads running? Okay. You're back. Ad break is over. So, last time I want to mention this, I've swapped out the nozzle. I've just pushed in the new one. So let's do this one more time. It is actually quite easy. We can just pull it down when we pull these two levers here. Oh yeah, a little bit too easy maybe. And then we can just push in the new one until it clicks in place, and that's it. I guess that we should do some kind of still doing a first layer calibration. Nevertheless, we should probably do that. I mean, you can probably assume that the new nozzle has the same distance to the print pad than the old one, but this is just, even if it's just micrometers of a distance difference, we should not assume that this is perfectly the same distance. So what we are going to do is do a new calibration in the menu before we get started printing with the new nozzle. So just have to remember where this actually was. I think it was here. Make sure the nozzle and platform is clean. We have to clean it actually. There is so much filament now that we have extruded. So we want to do a leveling, maybe not a vibration test. But maybe a pit tuning makes sense because it's a new nozzle. So we want to do leveling and we want to pit calibrate. This is two things that absolutely make sense now. And we have to also set the new diameter because it's now a 0.6 millimeter nozzle. We have to make sure that we are also using the right settings in the software later. We cannot change that here. We have to do it in the slicer program. So let's do that step now, the calibration. So we have a clean start. So the printer is doing its thing, probably running a bed leveling or at least probing, heating up, and then it's doing the thing. Some of you might not have ads, that could absolutely be. Depends on whether you maybe have Twitch Prime. What is happening? Why are you tilting away from me? Don't do that. To fix this bit. Okay. Hope this is working now. Okay, so the nozzle's heating up. The heated bed is also heating up, so we're like have to wait. The printer should now at any time start its first layer calibration. Yeah, whether you get ads, I think this depends very much on the kind of device that you're watching from, and if you have Twitch Prime, if you are subscribed, if you have a subscription to the channel, you're also not getting ads. So if you use your Prime sub, that you have a free. If you have a Amazon Prime membership, you can also have a Prime sub. One channel of your choice, and then you don't get ads on that specific channel. That's how it works. Exactly. So is it warming up? How far are we? Okay, so both the platform is already at 60. That's good. Extruder is also heating up. We're almost there. Yeah, so the printer is currently just moving in through the corners and calibrating. Yeah, let's see. Still waiting for this to happen. I maybe have some leftover filament on the build plate, which would be. I hope it's not gonna get an issue. There's a tiny bit of. Maybe that was kind of a cleaning string here, something that was left over from the last print. Weird. Let's see if this causes any issues. I hope not. So who's still there from the Karl Strucker channel? Anyone? People are quite silent in the chat, so maybe you wanna introduce yourself, or maybe leave a comment. What's going on your end? Are you still awake? Are you still watching? Are you interested what we're doing here? Thank you also for Kuechek for following, Captain Chaos. Thank you very much for the follow. But let me know what you're doing at the moment. If you're also printing something or just relaxing, right? Let's figure out what's happening for you. How does the price of this printer compare to K1C? Yeah, that's a good question. I tried to address this earlier. I can have a brief look again. So I only can tell you the German, these 3D Jake prices are pretty much comparable, I would say. So we have, this printer is currently going for 494. We can also find K1C. And how's that selling? Pretty much exactly the same price, right? Exactly the same price. No wonder. So these two printers are going for the same price at the moment. 494 for the K1C and 494 for the Adventurer 5M Pro. So is this coincidence? I'm not sure. Could be coincidence, but could also be strategically priced, because these two printers are probably also from a feature point of view, or what they can do is basically, honestly, very much the same. The only difference that I would say makes is a little plus for the K1C is the fact that you can tinker with the Clipper software, right? Because you can root the printer, get access to the Clipper firmware, and at least make changes. You can also install a different GUI. right? The mainsail, for example, you can install that. So you have a more customizable printer in a way, but regarding the firmware, it's definitely more customizable. And installing some add-on software is also possible. So it's like, in that perspective, it's more open to tinkering. Toxic Father says, my Ender 3 V3 KE is making me lose more hair than I want to. So I'm wondering, like, what's wrong with the printer? What's happening? I had this printer here for testing. We did a giveaway a couple of months ago. So what's happening? What's wrong with the printer? Is this calibration, by the way, already done? Maybe. Was that already? Oh, it's doing the pit tuning. Okay, it's still doing the pit tuning. Probably already done. And it's rebooting now. So it has done the first layer calibration. It has done the pit tuning. So we are ready to go with the new nozzle. So let's have a look in the printer software how we actually do this. So we want to switch to Flash Print in this case. We want to, let's see, we have some settings here, nozzle size. We can just select that from the menu and say we have 0.6 now. Anything else is the same. We are using, we have not yet new filament in the nozzle. We have to swap it out. We have to, I wanted to print ASA, but not in this room. We're gonna move the printer to a ventilated space for printing the ASA. You can also do nylon, carbon fiber, that's possible. That's definitely going to be part of the testing, because in the testing, in the next 2 weeks, I'm gonna test a lot of ASA prints. I'm gonna test carbon fiber. We're gonna also try to print some wooden materials, like at least wooden composite materials, which are rather difficult to print because they are super brittle. So we wanna test that, and that's why I swapped the nozzle for the 0.6 millimeters, because nozzle clogging is definitely a thing. If you are on a 0.4 millimeter nozzle, there's a higher risk, much higher risk of clogging with these kind of materials. So we definitely want to use the 0.6 for all these more challenging materials. Gonna give us a little bit of a headroom to work with. So 0.6 millimeter is just one setting away. You just swap this here and you just start printing. Orca slicer is slightly different. You go to the printer menu. We go back to M5 or 5M. I was a bit confused here. We just select this 0.6 millimeter additional nozzle here. Confirm that. And then we have to switch the, why do we do this? Here we have to switch the printer. This is how it works here. We are switching the whole printer. We're not only changing something in the print settings for the printer, but we're really switching the printer profile completely for a 0.6 nozzle. And that gives us a completely new set of settings. And there's also a different preset here, which is then 0.3 by default. So if you change your presets for this specific printer, because it has now 0.6 millimeter nozzle, it's not going to be visible in the 0.4 millimeter nozzle printer because it's different presets. Sometimes this makes sense, sometimes it is not so useful. So you have to, like, you can of course go into your 0.4 profile and just change the nozzle diameter and leave anything else the same. That's a way how to keep all of your other presets available, right? So you have to figure out what's better for you, right? But I'm usually not swapping nozzle diameters so often. honestly, what I currently actually plan to do is mostly going to 0.6 on most of my printers. So the Bamboo Carbon X1, at least one of the P1S, I want to switch to 0.6. So, and then I will probably just create profiles and use them and then not swapping back. For me, there's no reason of changing between nozzle diameters so often. Actually, like my decision is actually, I want to have a bigger nozzle diameter for different reasons, for printing a little bit faster and then also using specific filaments, but I'm not interested in going back and forth between the nozzle diameters all the time. That's why I don't mind actually having different profiles. So that's how this works with the 0.6 millimeter nozzle. Simply one setting away. And we could now basically start printing. But it's super, super late. What I will do in the next 2 weeks, we're going to print this project. First project to do is the Lego skeleton for Halloween. And then likely different projects, but we're gonna focus on Lego themed Halloween stuff that we're gonna put in at the front porch, right? So that's the thing. And I want to thank everyone for coming. It's super late here in Germany. It's 12:30 a.m. basically, or let's say 0 o'clock. However you might say that. It's just past midnight and I have to go to bed, but it was a pleasure having you all here watching the stream. There's still like 40 people combined from YouTube and Twitch watching, which is amazing. Thank you very much. Keep collecting nozzles. The giveaway is announced, right? We're doing it in October, slightly different than before, but I have high hopes that it's going to be working. It's going to be a little bit easier for everyone. And you have the choice what you do with the giveaway and have less trouble. So, see you next time. I'm planning to do the next one on Wednesday next week. We still have to come back to the modification of the SV08. So I have, in the meanwhile, the 3 different nozzles that I want to try out on this printer, on the SV08. We have to do that. I want to get the final setup in place so we can start printing again. Currently, the printer is kind of disassembled, and I want to get, I'd say, the best setup ready. I want to figure out what's the best setup. What do we finally want to use on the printer to fix the extrusion issues? And that's something I'm most likely gonna do next week if possible. Otherwise, we're gonna find another topic that's also burning. So I have a couple of things that I need to get done. So we're gonna see each other next week, Wednesday. Thank you for coming by and keep on printing. Keep on printing, stay healthy. That's the most important.